back to my channel. So as y'all can tell by the title, I'm going to be doing a story time on how I told my mom I was pregnant at 16. And for those who don't know, I am currently 19 weeks pregnant in 6 days. Y'all, I am tired. I'm ready to have him already. Yeah, and for those who don't know, I'm having a baby boy, so yeah. I'm tired, y'all. I'm ready to have him already. I feel like I'm at the best. I be so tired. I'm just, I'm just over it. But before we get into this video, like, comment. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And add me on all social medias. And yeah. So let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to go back all the way back to October 2021. So back in October, my birthday was coming out October 23rd. And my sister friend was having a party. And I was at the party like, something don't feel right. Like, it just did not feel right at all. Like, I don't know what was wrong with me and why I didn't feel right or whatever. But yeah. So I ended up, I didn't do anything. Like, I just sat there the whole entire time. Didn't talk, barely, whatever. I did get up and dance a couple times, but then I was just like, let me sit down, because, like, yeah. So then, the next couple days, my mama ended up taking me to the hospital. My mama ended up taking me to the hospital because school came around, and I did not want to go to school. Like, I was like, I ain't going. Like, my sister went, and I was like, I ain't going. And then, because I didn't feel good, so I ended up not going. She ended up coming home, taking me to the hospital or whatever. And then I get to the hospital, they asking me all these questions, because I'm telling them the symptoms I'm having. They're like, are you pregnant? And I'm like, no. So they're like, okay, we're just going to do a pregnancy test on you just to be sure or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I know I'm not pregnant, so I really didn't care. So they did a pregnancy test on me. My mom was like, yeah, we finna find out you pregnant. And I'm in my head like, she's saying it as in, like, she think I am. So, because I had been sleeping a lot before I had even went to the hospital. So, anyways, we went to the hospital or whatever. We took a pregnancy test. It came back negative. I'm like, yeah, I ain't pregnant. So I get on the phone with my friends, and I'm like, girl, I'm not pregnant, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And they're like, that's good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, that is good. So, then, ends up, I'm waiting on my menstrual cycle to come. I never been so prepared for it to come on, y'all. Like, as a girl, y'all know the feeling. Like, I'm like, dang, like, I'm tired of getting periods. But when they don't come on, something don't feel right. Like, So, at the time, it was around going on November. I think probably like November the 1st. My cycle was supposed to come on. It didn't come on. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait a couple days. So I text my mama on the day it didn't come on. And I was like, my cycle haven't came on. And she like, maybe it's just because of stress. And I'm like, I know that I ain't stressed out. Like, she like, you could be stressed and not know it. But I'm in my head like, what would I be stressed about if I didn't know, Mom? So, ends up, we goes to Dollar Tree. We go to Dollar Tree. And I'm like, I'm about to just get a pregnancy test to see. So I end up sneaking to buy me a pregnancy test or whatever. While my mom was on the other aisle, I ended up rushing to buy the pregnancy test. And I go to my grandma's house, but I didn't take the pregnancy test. I was ready to go home, y'all. Ready. So we ends up going home. And I get upstairs alone, and I took that mean I ain't pregnant. So then something like, look at it again, girl. So I look at it again to be sure, and it says positive. So I started crying, y'all, and I called my friends like, girl, I done took a pregnancy test, and it said I was pregnant, and blah, 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 and all this stuff. They're like, let me see. So I showed them, and they're like, girl, you playing. And I'm like, I'm not playing, I'm for real. So I got scared. I ended up getting scared a little bit, y'all, because I'm like, what the world am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do? But I had to think, like, I ain't had that mindset at the time. So, don't be asking what you going to do now, because you should have been thinking about that when you was doing what you were doing. So, anyways, I just crying or whatever. So, I did not end up wiping my eyes. My sister came home, and I was like, I got something to tell you, but you can't tell Mom. So, she walked in here, and I told her. She was like, what that mean? You pregnant? And I was like, mm-hmm. And she was like, I was like, but please don't tell Mom. She was like, I ain't gonna say nothing. But I knew who my sister was. So I'm like, okay. My sister get mad, she gonna end up telling my mom. Or if they start talking in a deep conversation, she gonna end up telling my mom. So maybe I should just go ahead and tell her myself. But at the time, my mama was in a bad mood. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go down there and tell her I'm pregnant right now. So I waited till she got into a good mood later on that night. And I was like, Mom, I got something to tell you, but don't be mad. And she was like, what is it? And I was like, I'm pregnant. Like, I ain't hesitate to say it or nothing. I ain't beat around the bush or whatever. I was like, I'm pregnant. She was like, how do you know? I was like, because I took a pregnancy test and it came back positive. She was like, bring it here, let me see. So I brought the pregnancy test here and I showed her. What was really funny to her was the fact that she took me to Dollar Tree. And how did I get that? She never understood how I got the pregnancy test so fast. But I was so slick with it that I had already got it. So, time come, whatever. She sees the pregnancy test. She like, maybe it's just wrong. And I'm thinking the same thing. Maybe it's just wrong because it was a $1 test. So I goes back and I get another Dollar Tree test. But instead of that kind, I had got this kind. Let me see. This kind. So I'm like, okay. And, oh no, I had got 2 at the time. This and this one. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to take them, whatever. I'm going to take one right now, and I'm going to take one later. And we're going to see. So that one, the pink one came back positive. I'm like, okay, I took 2. But I'm still in denial about the fact that I'm pregnant. So I'm like, maybe that could be wrong. Maybe it's just something ain't right now. Because I remember the hospital telling me I wasn't pregnant. So then I took the other one later on. Or was it the next morning? I can't remember, but I know I ended up taking it. And it came back positive. So I'm just like, whoa, like, now I know that it ain't mine because I done took 3. Ain't no way all 3 of them came back positive. So I ended up calling my friends, my cousins, and I'm telling them or whatever. And they like, yeah, I'm finna be an auntie or whatever. But this is the time when I had friends. I thought I had friends. And them hoes were my friends for real. Only a couple stuck around. And yeah. So I ended up telling them like they finna be aunties or whatever. They happy. And I'm, you know what I mean, I'm over here sad, crying, about to jump out my pants like what I'm gonna do. So then my mama ends up, no, I ended up calling my friend like, can you go to the store and get me a clear blue? So they go to CVS, they get me a clear blue. Not a clear blue, actually. I know it was a pregnancy test. It's from CVS Pharmacy. Let me see. It's this one right here. I'm not sure what it's called. But they end up going and they get me this one. So I'm thinking that one costs like $10, so it shouldn't come back false. Or it shouldn't lie. So I ended up taking the test or whatever. And I'm like, if all these are positive and this one come back negative, I'm going to believe this one because it's the higher one than the cheaper ones. But at the same time, I was kind of in denial because I'm like, I don't know. Like, I was still going to go to the hospital that year. The doctor. So, then I took that one. It came back positive. I'm like, whoa, like, I'm really pregnant. Mind you, I'm still in denial about the fact that I'm pregnant. So, I'm like, well, I'm really pregnant. I don't know what I'm going to do, blah, 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 and all this stuff. So, I done took 3 already. So, at that moment, after I took that one, it wasn't really no crying type of moment. Like, I really didn't cry about it because I had already kind of knew. But I just didn't believe it. So, I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna cry. Be big, girl. So, I ends up telling my mom or whatever about all of them. And I'm like, all of them came back positive, Mom. But I don't even think I'm pregnant because, what? So, because I used to always believe this saying my grandma always said. I'm not saying it's true, but my grandma always said the ones who love the kids, the must be the ones that don't have none. Or can't have none. So, I'm like, okay. So I'm kind of believing that line or whatever. And y'all know back in the day they used to make up anything, people would believe it. So I believed it or whatever. So I'm like, okay. My mama ended up buying me a clear blue. I ended up taking it, and I'm like, clear blues don't lie. So I'm like, okay. She done bought me this clear blue. If it come back positive, I'm saying the same thing about the rest of them. I'm gonna believe it. So it ended up coming back positive. I'm like, whoa, like, I'm really pregnant. So then I ended up calling my doctor so I can get referred to OB. And ended up calling my doctor, and I went there, and I went to the clinic, and they did a pregnancy test on me. And I was like, ma'am, it did come back positive, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm like, So I'm like, okay. So ends up, mind you, my OB was the OB that I could stay up to 18, but if I had got pregnant, I had to go somewhere else. So I ended up getting referred to an OB. And did I say an OB? I meant to say my doctor was a clinic that can go up to 18 if I got pregnant. But anyways, I got referred to an OB. They did me an ultrasound, and I'm like, okay, we about to go back here, we about to see. So they give me a due date and all this stuff. Then I guess my ultrasound took in when I was like 9 weeks. Yeah, I was 9 weeks. I get it took in when I was 9 weeks, and I'm like, about to see what we see today. So I see a little baby, and I'm like, whoa, like, she just telling me all this stuff, like, this is the yolk sac and all this. And I'm like, I'm really having a baby. Like, I'm really who God picked to have a baby. But I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna say I regret nothing, because I won't think about that at the time when I was doing what I was doing. I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. So at the time, after I found out, before I even found out, everybody had already thought I was pregnant. I clearly said I wasn't pregnant. The whole time I really was pregnant. They done jinxed me and got me pregnant for real. I really around and got pregnant for real. So, boom. I ended up posting that I was pregnant. And everybody couldn't believe it. Everybody was in and out. I posted it on Instagram. Y'all know on Instagram, y'all can see how many people shared it. When I tell y'all a whole bunch of people shared that post, I mean a whole bunch of people shared it. Like, it was like so surprising to me, because I'm like, like, half of y'all don't even follow me. So, yeah. So anyways, so that happens or whatever. So then all this drama start occurring or whatever. I start seeing posts like about me. So I'm like, oh my God. These people is on the internet talking about me. At the time, I did care about what people said about me. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm a first-time mom. I don't know. I didn't really care, but I cared. So I would get to fussing with girls and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. Because just because I'm pregnant, I ain't gonna let nobody talk about me. Ain't nobody gonna talk about me. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So then, next thing you know, my granddaddy still didn't know. My grandma had found out. And my grandma had found out. My granddaddy didn't know. And when I got that ultrasound, I ended up showing my granddaddy, because my grandma was like, she told him. And I'm like, okay, you told him, Grandma, then that means I can go ahead and show this ultrasound. So I showed him whatever. He didn't really say too much, but I was kind of scared, because my mama said that when he had found out that she was pregnant or whatever, he did the absolute most. And she was like, when he found out that I'm pregnant, because my granddad look at me as an angel, like, I don't do nothing in his eyes. So when he found out that I'm pregnant, he probably is gonna do the most, because I'm his baby, like, I'm his grandbaby. I'm the grandbaby, like, baby, like. So then he found out I'm pregnant. He didn't do nothing. Like, he didn't really say too much. And I knew my mom wasn't mad, but I knew she wasn't happy either. I wasn't gonna put nothing past her at that time. So, boom, that happened. My grandma didn't find out. They seen the ultrasound. Everybody else had seen it. Then time came around. Baby daddy drama started occurring. And I didn't know how to feel about that, because, y'all, this is my first time. I'm a first-time mom, so it was like, I got all this stuff coming after me. Like, I don't know what to do. And I'm not gonna say I don't want to keep my baby because of all this stuff. Because at the end of the day, after I don't aborted my baby, all these people will gonna still be coming at me. They're gonna have something to say about it either way, because I had an abortion or I kept the baby. So I didn't care about what they said. So when school time started, when I started going back to school or whatever, and everybody started knowing that I was pregnant, I was like I was still that type of person. Like, people will be at school trying me, but some people didn't know I was pregnant. Some people did. So teachers started asking me about it or whatever. So ended up, my principal ends up telling my mama, talking to my mama about online school. And I'm like, okay, I'll do online school. Like, that ain't no problem, because I don't like when all these people backstabbing me anyway, saying stuff about me. And I did not like that, y'all. I was always that type of person, like, I don't care who you is. You can say what you want to say, but you ain't finna sit in my face and talk about me or nothing like that. You ain't finna run up on me and think I'm gonna fight you bad. Like, I cared about my baby at the time, but I was like, I gotta do something to get away from these people, because they just making me mad. And then I knew my pregnancy hormones was gonna get worse, so I was just like, yeah, I can't stand school. So then I started doing online. And yeah, now I'm finna have a baby. So that's how I told my mom I was pregnant, y'all. I don't really know what to say. Like, this is my second YouTube video, and I'm kind of nervous, but I hope y'all like it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Add me on all social medias. Don't forget to, I'm not gonna say don't forget, but text me some more ideas y'all want me to do. And yeah, bye.